it's Rosebud and welcome to my channel. I hope you're fine, I hope you're great, and I hope this video finds you well. It's Wednesday and it's time for another video. Yo, how are you? How have you been? Yes, today I would love to share with you an update about the COVID-19 status in Germany. There have been some changes, very big and very many of them, and if you aren't interested and want to find out what those changes are, please stay tuned, and without further ado, let's just get straight to it. Alright, today is the 20th of May. Oh my god. Rewind. Today is the 20th of May 2020. You know what that means? Next month, it will be the middle of 2020, and this year just feels like it started yesterday. Like we just started finding out about the COVID-19 yesterday, and all of a sudden, half a year is gone. Wow! Whoa! That got me. Yeah, it's the 20th of May 2020. So the status at the moment, there are 4.9 million people, total cases, that have been tested positive of COVID-19. 1.7 of those 1.7 million have recovered. 323,000 have died worldwide. When we look at Germany, as of today, there are 177,000 total cases that have been recorded, and there are 12,090 active cases at the moment, which means these are like 790 more cases today than there was yesterday. 156,000 people have been declared as recovered, and 8,200 are deceased. As of today, the 20th of May 2020, there are zero value. The reproduction number is 0.91, meaning 100 people will infect 91 people. So what is the general status in Germany at the moment? Right now, the mood is quite relaxed. Like you have seen, the active cases are quite few, 12,000. Comparing to other countries, this is like a dream number, 12,000 active people. The reproduction has been kept low for a quite long time now, so that people are getting a little bit relaxed. The mood is getting a little bit positive. Nevertheless, the Germans are still taking the safety conditions, the safety precautions very seriously. And what are these safety precautions in Germany at this moment? In Germany. And what are the safety precautions in Germany at this right moment? So, when we go out in public means, it is mandatory to put on a protective mask. It could be the normal operation mask, it could be a normal mask made of cloth, it could be also a good nice scarf which covers the whole of this jaw part. And this mandatory wearing of mask has been going on since the 29th of April. Another safety precaution in Germany right now is the keeping of the 1 to 1.5 meter distance between the next person. And this has been implemented in almost every institution you visit. May it be at the doctor's place, may it be in the supermarket, may it be at some chemist. It doesn't matter. There is always this distance between individuals to be kept. No questions. It's just mandatory. Another precaution that has been kept so far is the traveling from one region to the other. Okay, and this has also been cut off for the last months, and up to today it's not completely open. This moving from region to region was just allowed for those people who have to travel to another region because of maybe working purposes or maybe family purposes, and that has to be a very good reason to visit like a close person. Yeah. Apart from these mandatory safety precautions, there have been also some other changes when it comes to our everyday life routine in Germany. And let's start with the schools. Since 2 weeks, there have been a very slow, stepwise reopening of schools. It started first with the graduate year children that have been preparing for their end of school exams, the so-called Abitur, and you can imagine the COVID-19 must have kicked this routine, this concentration of these students completely out of the road. But they were the first ones to start going back to school, which was really cool. And in schools, it was and in schools, it's also mandatory that the precautions that I told you about earlier are kept. That means every class has like 6 or 8 students in the class, right? And you can imagine that's not the normal number of students which are usually in a class. So in a class of 20 students, there have to be like 4 classes just for this one class, which means all classes cannot have school at the same time, even though they wanted to. That's why schools have been organizing that classes be attended maybe in a weekly basis, maybe in a every second week basis, maybe every month. So the first classes were the graduate classes, and as of from the 18th of May, also other lower grades started joining in. Nevertheless, the precautions must be kept. So the school has got to organize which class comes to school on which days or on which times. For example, my daughter, she goes, I think, every 3 weeks at school. So she just went once since the reopening, and it was really a great experience for her. It just felt good just going, seeing your friends again, seeing your teacher, not sitting at home. Because don't forget, they have not been sleeping or staying idly at home. The curriculum has still been going on all this time when there was lockdown. Every pupil was supposed to log in, so they were doing all these video classes. The teacher would send what topic they're supposed to learn and what exercises, what homeworks they have to do. They are even given some kind of a schedule how they are going to do their classes. They are given a deadline when they have to give the homeworks. So it was a very structured homeschool time. But nevertheless, when they went to school, it was just another feeling of, wow, finally out, you can see your friends. Even though she told me when you're in class, you don't have to put on the mask because the desks are really far away from each other. But when they're outside, whether for break or just maybe on their way home, they always have to put on their mask. So the meeting of friends was not just the normal way they were used to, but it was great. It was great for them. And I think for every student, for every people, it's just nice to be at school again, to see your friends again. We people are generally social beings, and being separated from our peers is just not good for our mental status. So it was perfect. So the lower grades will also start coming back to school as from after this long Thanksgiving weekend. So after this weekend, also the lower grades, like the primary schools, will also start going to school, or have to keep the health precautions, but they will also start attending school at very regulated times, regulated days. And afterwards, they will also have the preschools and the nursery school children also going for their nurseries. So when the German government was discussing on whether to soften on the lockdown conditions, they gave in a very clear statement on the conditions which were attached to the reopening. Okay, it's going to be gradual, the reopening, but there were also going to be conditions which were set clear, perfect and clear. And these conditions were, if there is going to be an area, a region, where there is going to be an increase of new infections up to 50 new infections per week, that specific area is going to go back to the controlled and total lockdown. Until this number goes back again, then there will be reopening of the area, which I find completely understandable. And since then, I think there have been 2 or 3 areas which have already increased this incident number, and they were locked down again, and then the numbers went down, and then the reopening came up again. So it's it helps to keep this 12,000 number exactly where it is, or even go lower, which we are all hoping for. So supermarkets have been open all this time, otherwise we would all have been starving. So thank you so much to all those cashiers at the supermarket who've been giving 100%, so that we people can really have food on our plates and just have a normal living with toilet paper and soap. Thank you so much. When it comes to restaurants, pubs, cafes, beer gardens, these have been locked for quite a long time, and since 2 weeks there have been a gradual reopening, and this reopening was also attached to health precautions. That means in a restaurant, in a cafe, in a beer garden, a pub, there has always to be this 1.5 meter distance between tables. The waiters and the waitresses have to be wearing their masks. There are supposed to be no decorations, whether candles or flowers, on tables, because you can imagine the guest comes now, it touches the flowers, it touches the candles, then comes the next guest, and he's doing the same, and there is just infection spread within no minute. Yeah, so that's why tables are blank, tables are apart from each other, and the waiters and waitresses are all covered up. Perfect. So the guests don't have to wear the mask, because I mean, they have to eat, they have to drink. You don't have to eat under your mask. Come on, no. But the waiters and the waitresses have to be covered, because they're the ones who are going to have this close proximity to the guests. So other institutions like the fitness studios and the swimming pools and wellness places, these ones still remain closed, locked down until further notice. But the other day I was reading that NRW, it's like a it's like a state in the West, it wants to actually open fitness studios and swimming pools. I wonder how that goes. I will keep you posted. What the government is planning on extending the salary payments for parents, especially single moms and single dads who have been forced to stay home because the schools and the preschools, nurseries have been closed, who have been caused by the COVID-19 situation to stay home, stay away from the jobs. They cannot go to work. How? You cannot just leave your 4-year-old at home alone. No. So they have been forced to stay home, so they cannot go to work. And since they cannot do that, the government was giving the LOHNFORTZAHLUNG, and this is like an extended salary payment, and it is 67% of your normal salary, which the government just pays you with no, it's not a credit, it just pays you just as a, yeah, entschädigung, like a compensation amount. Yes, and the government is planning on continuing to pay that for the next period of time, till all schools and all nurseries can reopen, and maybe for the next 20 weeks we will see. Or they want to extend it to 20 weeks. And this amount was supposed to be paid for 6 weeks, but they want to extend it to 20 weeks, which I find is really great. The German government, together with the other leading European members, they are planning on giving a 500 billion funds to the very extreme affected countries in the European Union, and this is supposed to be a support fund. It's not supposed to be a credit, so these countries will not have to return this money back to the European Union, but it's like a fund, a support fund, just to support them, because like you can imagine, Spain and Italy, they really underwent immense loss during this time. So yeah, so they offered a 500 billion euro support fund. This is no corona bonds, it's supposed to be a rebuilding fund. So yeah, that is it from Germany. How is the corona status in your countries? How are you dealing? How are you personally? If you'd like to share, let me know at the comments below. And thank you so much for watching this far. If you like the video, don't forget to give me the thumbs up. And if you've not subscribed, please do. I will really be happy. I will appreciate it. And if you like, see you on Friday for another episode of the Swahili Friday Talk. And otherwise, I wish you a very great long weekend. As of in Germany, we have free from tomorrow. And if you are in a job like mine, you also have a broken tag on Friday, so you have like a long weekend. Yay. So see you on Friday. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay optimistic. Until then, ciao.